All right, guys, welcome to Healthy Scratches. It's Monday, April 30th. Big news of the day. It is my birthday today. No one would know because no one has said happy birthday.
What a bomb drop. I didn't know that.
And I was about to roast you for finally being back.
On Twitter, Instagram, talked about it on every part of my show today. Nobody says happy birthday.
Right, I was asleep during your show. That's early. What time starts? 6 a.m.?
7.
That's very early.
When I said, yo, what's up, JSB, did you think I was going to say happy birthday this morning?
No, because no one did, so I didn't expect it from anyone.
Shit.
It's okay.
I mean,
it's all right.
Julie, we would definitely say happy birthday. I didn't know it was your birthday.
I've only been here 4 months, so I get it.
I'm not
it
a big
takes
birthday
while.
I don't like say happy birthday to people.
I don't know anyone's birthday.
I think it's more like maybe working in an old dude office. Like
no, it's just like we don't know.
Guys
We don't
really
have a
big
calendar
birthday
of like when your birthday is.
I don't know when your birthday is.
No idea. I don't even know
Really?
what month.
Let me guess. June.
No, you're wrong.
When is it?
August.
When's his birthday?
No idea. December?
No.
I don't know.
I have no fucking clue.
No.
Okay, well maybe it's like a Facebook thing too. You get like a notification, but
Yeah.
that's why I put it out all over social
Leave
media.
it to your
Heads up.
birthday. I don't know anybody's
Leave it to your aunt and like your uncle
well,
on
now I'm
Facebook
putting it
to
on
wish
the
you
show.
happy birthday.
So
Only
then
one
I
birthday I
wanted
know, Sidney Crosby, 8787. That's one that I will remember.
Wow, that's amazing.
He's so
That's
weird
good.
with the 87.
No, he's not. Just
Doesn't
He
he
was
make like
born- he was
8
born in 87.
Doesn't he make like $8.7 million too?
born on
that too.
8787 and he's working pretty well.
And didn't they
Keep it
put
the
like
same.
some sort of variation of 87 in the seat
Yes, and the
capacity?
seats ends in
what
87.
He is strange.
Hey, well, speaking of Sidney Crosby, Penguins, they dropped Game 2 against the Washington Capitals. Caps were able to get this one a little bit controversially as a goal, quote unquote, happened. Patrick Hornqvist looked as though he snuck it around behind Braden Holtby. YP and I believe, at least I don't want to speak for you necessarily, I believe this was a goal. It would have made it 3-2 at that point. It was not a goal, that it did not cross the line. Frankie, you believe otherwise though.
Yeah, so I mean, initially, obviously, I'm always going to be on the fan base's side where I'm going to start screaming and say like, what the fuck, that's obviously a goal. We can see it from the TV. But when I did a little more research, they were talking on Hockey Night in Canada last night. They were showing this like module that they made up of when it was crazy. It was like this like whole 3D version of what
modules. That's
module. That's the right word,
it's
right?
A module.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if, I haven't heard that word in a really long time. But
Yeah, that's
Cool,
what it is.
I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, we're just talking modules here. So basically, when you're seeing a puck from this angle going at it, right? So if you're looking just at the net from like a side-to-side view, it looks like it's across the line. But then they're saying that once you go to a top angle and looking just straight down bird's eye view, that even though it may look like it has some spacing on the line, when you look from a bird's eye view, it actually could still be on the line. So the rules distinct that you have to have a clear bird's eye view of the line, or else they
like
cannot
behind
overturn the call. That's a rule. So if they could not see, if there's goalies, if there's guys on top of it, and it obstructs their view from viewing it, they have to rule what happened on the ice. They can't overturn it.
Right.
It's just a rule.
But on the ice, it was never considered a goal.
It was
I'm trying to
ruled
remember.
That's the other problem.
Wasn't
they
it-
said
it was
no
no
goal
goal.
when
Right.
they came up, so it has to be conclusive to overturn.
That's
Right.
the most important part of those calls is what is it called on the ice, because that, like I'm saying, if
Right.
they can't get a distinct viewing of what happened in the review, you can't overturn it. So obviously it's a bullshit call because, like you said, whatever happens on the ice happens on the ice. But like I can see why fans are mad, but it is what it is. That's just what the rule is written. That's just how the rule is
The
written.
more that you've like explained it, I see a little bit more on that side because I've been obviously looking on Twitter and kind of watching it all, and it just looks as though it's a goal, like that it
Right.
crosses the line. No, you showed it there.
I mean,
or
I
we were
wouldn't
looking at it, and
say-
it's
We could
kinda
probably show it
still
on here.
Yeah.
on the red line, which means like it's not, and it is kind of hard to see, but it looks as though it like goes in behind the,
I
like,
would
the
say
pipe.
this. I think that I wouldn't say it's a bullshit call because given the evidence they had, they kind of had to rule it like that.
Right.
Because if you're going to overturn it, the Capitals fan base is going to want to know, well, show me the proof.
No, when I say
Whereas-
bullshit, I meant like bullshit for the fans.
Right,
like,
right,
all right,
yeah.
What I'm
you guys are
saying is-
pressing. You're down. You're going to be down one.
Right.
You think it's a goal. You're reviewing it. They're showing some separation in the ice between the puck and the red line. But then
But-
again, if you go by the rule by
Yes.
rule, word by word in the rule book, you cannot
Yes.
overturn that
I
goal.
would say two things. First of all, the players on the ice, I feel like a lot of times have the best feel. Like I've seen a million times in hockey where you jam something in and you see it go across.
Like
Yeah.
you know, and then
Shit.
you are so into
Because
it.
I've
yeah.
seen it, it's happened to me where you're like, I fucking saw it with my own 2 eyes. Like, here's the line, and it's right here.
Yeah.
And what's a goalie gonna do? Hope he's smart.
Right.
Like, he knows he's covering. He didn't move until after.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the most frustrating thing in an entire game when you see it go in. You know there's times too. You know the ref's not gonna call. You're like, there's no way he saw that. So it's tough. I mean, I think that the angle from behind too, his pad was completely smothering it.
Yep.
They need, like, you know how they have the pylon cam in football? Like, how is there not a little, like, pinhole camera like that?
And in soccer too, like a kind of like a goal
That
post
goes
cam.
straight out of the.
I know, like, shitting on the NHL is, like, obvious right now, but, like, how do you not have one maybe this far off the post on the bottom and one on the, like, in each
Try to
corner?
figure it out.
Just seems
See.
like, it's just like
For something
This
so
kind
important.
of always seems to rear its head.
What's going on, guys? Nick and Booze here from the Heartland office after Game 2, Penguins Caps. I thought Holtby came out firing on all cylinders. Ovi opened up the scoring early in that game, knowing full well that Matt Murray can't stop a fucking beach ball with his glove. And then what about that goal that could have propelled the Penguins back into contention that was called off? Personally, I thought it was a goal. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, everyone knew it was a goal. We all saw it. NBC showed the angle there that everyone saw. The puck clearly over the line. But again, no overhead replay, which is what the NHL wants. The best, easy, quickest solution to fix something like this is putting a thin, smaller line behind the actual goal line so that when the puck is touching that line, you know it's clearly over the goal line itself. But what are you going to do? The Pens dug themselves a hole early on. Another slow start, which is this one actually cost them here. If that goal is counted, I think it's a different game, but it's not, so we're moving on here. And again, Tom Wilson, the human garbage can, headshot on Brian Dumoulin. Again, what can you do? What's done is done. He's not going to be suspended. Looks like Dumoulin, full participant in practice, so we're okay there. Help is on the way. Malkin skating in practice. Hagelin skating in practice today. Actually took off the non-contact jersey at one point, so he will come back at some point this series. Penguins, too aggressive to start the game with the D pinches, and they just need to get some contributions from the rest of their lineup, which hopefully can come back now with Malkin and Hagelin, get some reinforcements in there. As long as Dumo's good, I think they're okay. We knew this was going to be a long series. I don't think anything's changed. Pens in 7.
Well, you know, I'm sticking with the Caps in 7 because fuck the Penguins, and it's all tied up in 2 games now. Game 3 is going to be very interesting. Cannot wait to watch it. Back to you guys.
Caps keep figuring out a way to score really quickly in these games. Did you see they scored? Ovechkin scores to start the game, ignites the crowd. He scores like with a minute and 23 into the game. Then they score a goal, like 20 seconds into the third period. These goals right off the jump, I don't know what Barry Trotz is telling these guys right before the game, but there's something about the way the Caps come out. They're just firing. And obviously we saw in game 1, like they can't always withstand the pressure of the Pens. But if they keep firing like this off the jump and putting the Penguins on their heels, more often than not, I think they're going to find themselves in good situations because I mean they're scoring first every single time.
I will say this: that's also like at home, and it's gone as good as possible. I think if they don't score like that, it's gonna To me, when that goal got called back, they definitely it was a huge setback. But the Penguins were all over him. The entire tide of the game was against the Capitals. I mean, as far as the Wilson hit, he's a guy that's shown that he'll do this all the time. I mean, it's not really by a huge fault of his own.
Who is it that doesn't like Tom Wilson?
I fucking despise him.
I knew someone hated him.
Shout out Lubomir Wisnowski. He never played it. He destroyed Wisnowski behind the net. The guy didn't have the puck. It was a late hit, and he ruined his career. I'll never forgive him after that.
Like,
hopefully he doesn't do the same thing to Dumoulin.
He's just a liability out there. The guy's flying around the ice, and he has no care in the world of what he's doing to guys. And like he's one of those guys, like a Marchand, and that when you have him on your team, you love him.
Exactly.
And the rest of the NHL despises him.
I wouldn't want to play against Tom Wilson. He's just
he's
a
probably
missile.
the ultimate.
If you get in his way, you may get blown up.
He's the ultimate teammate too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate his game as far as like that, but I mean, he's shown he'll do this, he'll do it. And honestly, if he gets suspended for a game, the Caps survive. If Dumoulin goes down, that D-core is just so much weaker.
We'll have to see,
it's almost like a, not smart, but like, what is Wilson not going to do that? It's like, yeah, you can punish him, but like, that's how he's going to play.
True, because Dumoulin and Chris Letang usually paired up, taking on some of the biggest guys, of course. That would be a huge loss for them. And we'll see if he does face any suspensions going forward. Other game last night, Sunday, was epic, and this series has everything, which is Nashville and Winnipeg. And Nashville won this one in double overtime. Kevin Fiala, you guys were talking all about the celebration.
Oh,
amazing.
I mean, it doesn't get any better. He's already like a young dude that like a skilled player playing in Nashville. It's a pretty good scenario. Then you score in double OT, the whole city's behind you, and he gets up from the cellar. This makes me happy.
Yeah.
And his helmet's off, he's got the hair going. It's like, oh man, this guy's in the zone right now. There's nothing better when it happens naturally after an OT winner. It's like, it's hockey.
Everything about the environment in Nashville last night was awesome. I mean, it's a double OT game. You had Carrie Underwood singing the national anthem. The place was going crazy. We were talking earlier before about the Titans that were there. The Titans, the Tennessee Titans offensive line showed up to do the catfish, which I guess they do before every game.
They're doing beers.
So we've had in this day and age, right? In the year 2018, we do boob luges, we do butt luges, and now we see catfish luges. This offensive lineman was taking this beer, putting it through the dead body, the dead freaking fish.
And that thing doesn't smell great.
No, it doesn't. And you got to know that the Nashville Predators PR agency was probably like, oh boy, when they watched them just down in these Bud Lights and just covering themselves in beer, that could not have gone to plan.
That's like the best thing.
What do you
then
mean?
You wonder about.
But I'm just saying, you think that they thought they were going to get up their shit face?
Yes, they did it last year.
They were there, I remember.
Did it last year.
But they didn't do it to that extent, I don't
Not
think.
to that extent, but they did it last year.
The one guy, I'm forgetting his name, but the really big guy who was holding the catfish, he had a look on his eyes like he was on like a 48-hour bender.
Well, probably was. I mean, at this point in the season, why not?
Right.
Like, Tennessee
I loved
Titans.
every second of it. That got me like, I wanted to run through a wall when I saw those guys. If you
say
see a guy
too.
waving a dead catfish filled with Bud Light around the arena,
That's a good move.
Frankie, a lot of people you're talking about doing these luges are like, no offense, like either idiot college kids or
Offensive
like
linemen,
scumbags that
guys.
have nothing to lose. These dudes have millions and millions of dollars.
That's what I meant by the
and they're
PR
still
thing. I'm
getting
like,
after it.
Well, for the
someone had to have sent them a text message like, hey, maybe you should have done that on national TV.
No,
I don't
the
think
Predators,
they love it.
the
You think
Predators
so?
loved
Linemen,
it.
what else does an O lineman do?
I loved it.
Nasty
Believe me.
and fuck people
Believe
up.
me, I love it. I just think that they took the script and they just ripped it apart and they're like, fuck you guys, we're about to get lit.
Honestly,
They brought
the
home a
Nashville
W.
environment would encourage that, but I believe that like the Predators PR staff would be like, yes, huge win for us, Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
I don't know. NFL would be way more buttoned up. It's like, hey,
It just was weird to see on national TV guys. I mean, you usually don't see that. Like
NFL
there's
players
usually
do a lot of
TMZ articles
stupid
about
things.
guys pouring beers on
Bro,
themselves.
they do a lot of stupid things. I think O linemen at a Predators playoff game, I think that's well within
And
the
it's
bounds.
like very much outside of even like any type of training camp or season.
Yes,
So
and
it's
look
like,
at
all right, let's.
Dude, Eddie
have fun.
O-line coach, that guy that's in the trenches mixing up, you want an O-lineman that's pouring beer down a catfish mouth and drinking it. That's the type of dude I want.
It was
blocking
electric, and now they have to live up to that. I mean, that's the type of thing that can bring a series home for a team.
Oh,
Yeah, it
game
can't-
5, they may have to like put a catfish in a blender and drink it. I don't know.
But Dustin Byfuglien there's incredible highlights of him. I mean, sort of negative at the end, but that great shot of him just like getting all these guys that were on top of him. He's just like
he's fighting people
beast.
2-on-1.
He's
Yeah,
an
it
animal.
was
Big Buff, I tell you what, there's not a lot of players that give me like a special feeling like this. Like obviously Crosby, when I see him do things like bat pucks out of there, you're like, wow, this is special. Big Buff is like a video game. He's like a movie character that's in real life and no one's like in the script. He just does these movie things in real life. He's fighting 2 people at once. After they tied that goal, he's dummying his teammates.
Yeah,
in the
that was
face.
unreal.
Yeah.
His celebrations just knock people out.
He's a truck. Like
And he's gotten so much bigger, it seems. Like, he just keeps getting bigger and
Bro.
better and just intense.
When he fucked Koivu up in the first round, all those hits, it's like, have you ever played NHL hits back in the day where the guys that could go flying over the boards?
Oh, yeah.
That's what he's doing in real life.
And he has the finesse to I mean,
Yeah.
he's sliding
The
pucks
goal,
5-hole.
he
It's
scores, yeah,
unreal.
like, that's a guy that, like, and I know people are, like, chirping him about, like, the sliding on the 2-on-1 with Fiat. That's a bad situation. Maybe shouldn't have slid, whatever, but that's a dude I want on my team. He's playing, like, 30-plus minutes.
And for it to get to double overtime to begin with, this series
Right.
goes back to Winnipeg. Good for the series that it was split, and this could arguably be one of the best series. Sadly, we have to get it so early because these two teams are incredible. Moving on to Vegas, San Jose. Vegas suffers their first playoff loss so far, and that was also in double overtime.
I don't think they suffered a playoff loss, to be honest. To
No,
me,
I mean,
think
technically they did, but like, they also could have potentially won because, Frankie, you
think
brought
they-
it up,
yeah.
the idea that they had an overtime goal that was taken back.
Yeah.
What a
Horseshit.
crusher. This one was the fact that it was Shea Theodore's goal, but Jonathan Marchessault had, I guess, sort of like,
No one
had
got the
goalie
rebound.
interference.
Yep.
Just
Skated by him.
It did not.
It's a
There's
crush.
no goalie
It's a crushing setback to have that goal taken away. I mean, it's got to be more distinctive than that to take something to make a decision like that.
He just like kind of skates by him.
The thing that I don't understand is like the way I've always seen it is if you're in the crease and you get in his way and interfere with him. I thought you had to be in the crease, and if he's outside, he's at his own peril. To me, Marchessault's very much on the edge outside of the crease. I didn't think he was in it.
I guess if we read the rule book, it's if you're affecting the goalie in any way of making a save.
But
inside the crease.
Right, it should always be within the crease. I don't understand how, when a goalie's being super aggressive, he should be at the rules of everyone else in the league.
Who is it from? Like the Sharks player right behind Marchessault too was like kind of almost in there as well.
I just don't understand. Like to me, obviously the front of the net is the most contested area in the entire ice because it's the easiest place to score from. It's where everything's happening. How can you not expect a little bit of bumping, a little bit of like, it's just a mucking zone where like stuff's gonna happen. If I skate by Frankie and like hit him, that's
like,
now
that's
goalie
fine.
interference.
Like there should be a level
it's
of.
It's a contact sport. I don't understand what's happening.
They're treating goalies like they're treating quarterbacks in the NFL. They're doing everything they can to protect.
Or kickers or something where like they breeze them and the guy
not
goes
only
crazy.
protect them physically, but to protect them to allow them to perform better for some reason. And in the NHL nowadays, we want more goals. We want chances like this. That's an exciting goal. That's a hard-working goal. Going around the net, getting in front of the net. Like if you knock the guy, like you're saying, if you brush by his pad, it shouldn't affect him.
Just like a light breeze of anything.
In the game of hockey, you should be aggressive. The goalie should be able to muck it up like they used to. I mean, fucking.
Dude, your boy, the Islanders guy, used to chop
Billy
people
Smith.
in the legs.
If you used to do a wraparound on Billy Smith, he'd take the stick and go around and knock.
That's okay, but
he used to knock Gretzky's ankles out. I mean, and no one even batted an eye.
I just fundamentally, if you take like a random fan off the street and have him watch that goal, at any point is he like, oh no, that's no. It's clearly a goal. It's a playoff hockey game in overtime. Like. It's such a ticky-tack bullshit to go back and video.
It was a really loose, soft sort of call.
Like if you're Vegas, how are you supposed to react after that?
You'd be pretty upset. You'd probably just think, all right, well, we just have to remember we got all the way to the double overtime, and that's their first loss in the entire playoffs.
Emotionally, they're up 2-0. They have a huge buffer.
They won 7-0 their first game. They're gonna be fine, I imagine. Speaking of other instances of goalie. Controversies, the Boston-Tampa Bay game. Tuukka Rask loses his skate blade. It was crazy to see. He's motioning to the referee like, hey, I lost my skate blade, and then he gets scored on. And he was livid. This was great video, by the way. You know, he tries to get up. He obviously only has one skate blade. He takes the skate blade. He throws it. And for good reason. I'd be upset too. But the fact is, like, in the rule book, the rulebook is making a big performance this weekend. Play shall not be stopped nor the game delayed by reasons of adjustment to clothing, equipment, skates, or sticks. Also says no delay offered to fix goalie equipment. So by the rulebook,
now what's weird is they're saying that if the ref heard him complaining, he would have blown the whistle though. So that's why it was weird to me that they're saying that he just didn't get his attention. So like
right there, if that's
you can see it. It's like pretty. Blatant.
I know what the rules were saying, but I was saying on Twitter and all the analysts after the game were saying like he just couldn't figure out how to get the attention of the ref, and everyone was saying he should have taken his helmet off, should have knocked the net off.
Because even Freddie Anderson a couple days ago when his helmet got knocked off, you know, they stopped playing pretty quickly.
Dude, they do it when it has something to do with safety, right? If a goalie's helmet gets knocked off after a slap shot, they blow the whistle.
But that's very different than equipment malfunction in a skate. Like. If that is the rule, like obviously it's very unfortunate and not like
this shouldn't be the rule then. I mean,
so let's say a guy makes a save. Let's say a goalie makes a save and the glove comes flying off his hand. Now he's a bare hand. They're gonna blow the whistle.
They go like this and they blow the whistle.
All right, so
it's
now
like a safety thing. I don't think skate breaking is that much of a safety.
You don't think he's more liable just sitting there like
he
a
was
sitting duck?
He was just in the butterfly.
But he couldn't really do anything.
He moved. He almost made the save.
Yeah.
That was actually a really good shot by Shea Theodore, far side.
Now, do you think he should have? Do you think even if it would have produced a penalty, do you think he should have just taken his helmet off and knocked off do the Henrik Lundqvist, where he just gets pissed off at something that's going on, and just takes the
it's like if you lose your stick, they don't just stop play.
Right.
You know.
Listen, it's shit luck. It is shit luck. I didn't agree with all the Bruins fans saying that it was like the most bullshit call of all time.
Well, if it happened to Tampa, they would have been like, that's the rules.
Right.
Yeah.
But true. I mean, there is a part of me that says if the guy's waving his arms. so much in hockey, we give the goalie, like we just got done talking about, we give the goalie the benefit of the doubt a million times out of a million. If he's waving his hands, he's not paying attention to the play, I think if the ref sees him, I think he should blow the whistle.
If the
I know it goes against the rules.
He could have easily been yelling he was screened or something. It wasn't that obvious.
Right.
Like watching it, it wasn't blatantly obvious where he's like...
Like from the referee's point, though, if you can hear him and he's wanting this call and you're like, rule book, I shouldn't do this, then you shouldn't go ahead and do it.
And this is a new thing that could happen, right? Because these are new blades, they're saying. They snap in.
They've been around for a while.
They have been around for a while.
4 or 5 years, maybe, but like...
They're saying this hasn't happened. Like,
it hasn't. I mean, I've never seen... My skates are like that. I've never seen it come out in the middle. Like, I've seen them break.
I see them break.
Yeah, it breaks all the time. That's the fucking worst. You go to take a stride and it's like plastic. You fall.
Crazy.
And the reason for having those blades is just for quick insertion, like on the bench?
I mean, I've never done it. I don't think people like, maybe I guess NHL equipment guys can have multiple blades that are tuned to the exact thing, but like changing blades in the middle of the game is like a difficult, as far as the lie and how high it is and shit, but I'm sure they have like identical ones.
Yeah.
So say you lose an edge, instead of taking them to get sharpened, they just clip them out, but I don't know how much that is really going on. But
interesting storyline. Of course, they still won the game, Boston, which is, I guess, good poetic justice in that regard. They play game 2 tonight, and we're going to have a whole lot more coming up this week from all the guys, Heartland guys, Chief. Chief is in Nashville, so he's going to be doing a little stuff for us.
I did see him on Twitter mixing it up. He was like doing a fucking dance line the
yeah,
second he landed in Nashville.
And of course, our man Jordy. So
that hair in Nashville may be a dangerous,
yes,
proposition.
that'll get the ladies.
Woo!
Good job, say guys. Remember, it's my birthday, okay?
Oh yeah, happy birthday.